Far Cry 5's been out for a few days now, Gaz and Liam.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yep, it has indeed.
You've been playing it, both of you. You've played a few hours each, right? You've played a good chunk of the game.
About probably like 8-10 hours now.
Right, okay.
So yeah, very big chunk.
How have you been balancing that between the story and, I mean, it's all about open world chaos and stuff, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Have you been doing a bit of both, or focusing on the story, or what?
I would say mostly open world chaos.
Right, okay.
End. Like, just going around doing the side missions, clearing out the outposts, just generally having fun, exploring the world, doing a lot of side activities. There's plenty to do.
What are you guys?
Similar story? A good balance. I started out with the story missions and realised I wasn't making any money. Mm-hmm. So last night I focused more on the side missions and started actually making some cash.
Some financial gain.
That's it.
Okay, very nice. So that is probably going to be music to Ubisoft's ears, because they want this game to be a story machine, an anecdote generator, or whatever. That they're words that they've used themselves. So we'll talk about that in a little while. But this video is just going to be our kind of impressions based on, as you've just heard, a good chunk of the game. Far Cry 5 came out on PC, PS4 and Xbox One on March the 27th, developed and published, of course, by Ubisoft. And it's an open-world first-person shooter. You can explore freely using vehicles or on foot. You can take down outposts. It's all about chaos and shooting and hunting and traveling really fast and doing whatever you want, set in present-day Montana. Mm-hmm. And there are a few additions to this game compared to previous Far Cry titles. I mean, right out of the gate, there is a character creator, which is totally new to the series. So tell us about that, guys. The customization and stuff, how did you find that going into the game?
It's decent, but a bit limited.
It's very light.
Yeah.
It's very light. You can have a mullet, which is the main thing, right? You're in Montana with a mullet. I mean, what else would you need?
Yeah. And
it's got everything I would need, that's specific.
That's good.
Well, that's flannel shirts. There's plenty of flannel shirts to choose from.
Flannel shirts and mullets. And it's a strong mullet as well.
It is a strong mullet.
Really good mullet.
So generally, do you feel like it just needs more options, or what? What's the
it's quite light. There's not a lot to choose from. Very limited selection of like what you can do with it. There's only like 10 or so hairstyles, for example, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's to begin. But I'm guessing that there's more to unlock later in the game, because you can change your character at any point, right?
That is, you can change how your character looks. So I'm assuming, you can probably unlock more stuff.
Yeah, and that's probably a decision based on how much microtransactions they can sell later down the line.
Yeah, which there are microtransactions in this game. It's got a full fat microtransaction system. They're all kind of, a lot of them are cosmetic from what I can tell. But what's that looked like for you guys? The microtransaction system. Have you felt like the call to it? Have you felt that you had to go and check it out, or what?
Not so far. Like, you can buy stuff like special weapons, prestige weapons they're called, and they're just like they've got some attachments pre-built onto them and like a skin and stuff like that. But you can get them with normal in-game cash as well.
That is important to point out. There is a secondary a currency in the game, which is like silver bars.
Silver bars,
right? Yeah. So you can buy that with real cash, and you can buy these more expensive weapons with either the alternate currency or the actual in-game currency, which is dollars, normal dollars.
Yeah.
So you can unlock everything that I've seen so far with just regular cash, just by playing the game. And it's mainly cosmetic. It's not very intrusive at all. There's no loot boxes in it like many other games. So I've just been completely ignoring it, and I've been fine. You know what I mean? There's nothing locked behind a microtransaction wall for me, because I can unlock it with in-game currency. Which is, if you're going to do microtransactions, that's the way to do it.
I mean, we've seen so many worse examples. This kind of seems all right now in comparison.
It seems fine. The fact I can get everything, the fact that nothing's locked behind an actual payment, nothing's locked, and you can unlock it just by playing the game.
And we should state this is a full AAA priced game. This is going to cost you all of your $60 or whatever. This is a full fat product, but it's just that's the way the industry is now. I guess there's a season pass as well, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
If it does great on you, then just buy everywhere. Some people just won't like it because of that. But
so. There are cosmetic items, but it is kind of a first-person game. Well, it is a first-person game. You can, I guess, see your character in the menu screens and stuff, and there is co-op as well, so other people can, if you play co-op, which you can play through the entire campaign, explore the open world and do some co-op chaos, you can they can see what you look like in your own way and stuff. So that big change for me as well, like narratively, is the fact that there is no character. Like before, there would be quite a defined character who was made part of the story. Far Cry 3, you were playing as this guy who would begin as like a adrenaline junkie tourist douche, and then by the end he was like, he'd become addicted to killing and addicted to drugs, and he'd been completely taken over by this island, and that was a big part of the experience for me. So I'm guessing that's how does that compare? Liam, you played the previous Far Cry games, right? So how does that compare for you this time around?
So in Far Cry 5, you just take on the role of a generic like sheriff's deputy. So you're like a police officer. And like you don't have a name or anything. Everyone just calls you like deputy. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I guess they want to sort of like put the player at the center of the experience. Yeah. Have you be more immersed in the world.
More of a vessel than anything else.
Rather than like the older Far Cry games where it's like you take on this like journey of a predetermined character. They want you to just like have your own experience, your own story to tell from it.
But this time you're playing just your average sheriff's deputy who doesn't mind waving a rocket launcher around and snapping people's necks unannounced.
I think
just like all sheriff's deputies.
You begin the game as a deputy, you're playing second fiddle to the sheriff, right? So
you want to impress yourself.
Exactly. But there is that. You're taking on the responsibility, and people start once you start completing the missions, people start saying, "Oh, I can't believe what you did back in that outpost." Or you start feeling empowered, like, "Oh, I'm actually in charge now. I'm not the deputy anymore. I'm the main dude."
You've been throwing knives at people's throats. You've been doing all kinds of stuff.
I can kill people all on the way to glory.
Just doing some great police work all around, really. So the open world as well is literally more open this time. You can go anywhere right off the bat. It's not like it's in previous games it'd be gated off, and that always jarred me. I remember distinctly in Far Cry 4 flying like a these crap little gyrocopter things, and I was just like flying over a river and it just wouldn't go, and there was like the red light, you're going too high.
Tells you to turn back.
Yeah, and it's just so like what's going on here? Yeah. So there's none of that this time around, right? You can go
open,
and
the map unlocks a little bit differently as well. Like in previous Far Cry games, you'd have to climb a tower and then unlock an area of the map. Whereas this one, it's a lot more natural. Wherever you go, you unlock the fog of war. Just disappears. Wherever you've been on the map, so you couldn't see the whole map from the very beginning, so long as you journey there.
Which is a lot smarter design because it shows you where you have and haven't been. Because in the previous games, it would clear out an area, and you don't know where you've been within that area because you've been up the tower. So it's just cleared all of it. So this time, there's actually wherever there's a fog over a forest or something, you haven't been inside that forest. Maybe there's something cool in there to check out. So there's a little. It's a much better design all around, really. And no one liked climbing those towers, right? That was shit.
They even make a joke out of it at the beginning. In the tutorial, it makes you climb a tower. Yeah. And then some guy on the radio, he comes and like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to make you climb towers all the time."
Yeah, very good.
So like, they're very self-aware about it.
Okay, that's cool. And that speaks a lot to the tone of the game all around. I mean, they're taking a risk with the setting and stuff, but they've really fully gone for the outlandish. They've gone like comical where possible, laughing at themselves. The Far Cry arcade thing, which is just supposed to be chaos. They've really pitched this as like more of like the Saints Row school of thought. Not maybe to that extent, but they've gone down it doesn't matter as long as it's fun. That's their kind of attitude towards the game. I think the fact that they've added things like the buddy system, which I think is a pretty big feature, shows that they want to build on what has been in previous games as well, not just kind of refine it. How have you guys found the buddy system?
It's all right so far. They just kind of play like support abilities. Yeah. Like if you get Boom of a dog, he will like go grab you weapons and scout out places for you.
So these are like AI companions, guns for hire. Yeah. And they've been there in previous games, but they've built on top of it in a big way this time.
It's a lot more robust this time around compared to the older Far Cry games. Like everyone has a unique skill to them. Like you can get a long range sniper. You can get a guy who flies his plane and provides like air support for you.
You got your own air force.
My boy Nick.
Yeah.
My boy Nick. Yeah, he's my favourite. I mean, one of the most cinematic moments so far for me is when Nick does one of his bombing runs and blows up a big. It just looks fantastic. It's brilliant. Just knowing that you've got that air support there, and you can just like, right, go and blow that for me, please. Boom. It's just so very satisfying.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Maybe you guys won't remember. Well, I'm sure Liam will. The encyclopedia, the human encyclopedia over here. But Mercenaries on the PlayStation 2,
Yep.
right? And that was exactly that, right? There was an obstacle in your way. Call in an airstrike, call in an aeroplane to come and help you out or something. It was all about, again, chaos and fun. It doesn't matter that it's completely unrealistic or whatever. It's just about having a laugh. So yeah, you've literally got like a private air force pretty much. You've got a guy who comes in and helps you out. So if you guys, there are some controls you can use with that as well. You can like direct them to attack certain enemies or whatever.
Yeah, some squad commands.
How does that work? Is that any good?
It's like you aim down your sights. Well, because I played it on Xbox, so this is what you do on a controller.
Mm-hmm.
You aim down your sights, and then the orders come up on like the D-pad, so you can press like follow, hold back, attack. Just your pretty generic squad commands, really.
So it's pretty light, but
yeah.
effective, right? Is that? Have you enjoyed using it?
It works really well.
It does work well.
Very good.
And you've got these 9 specials that you unlock by they've all got missions that you've got to complete for them. As you walk up to them in world, you unlock them by doing a mission for them, saving them from the bad guys.
They're all still like story missions sort of things.
And then also you get the choice of the Mercenaries, right? The Mercenaries are a separate thing that you can also, if you save a bunch of people, random people, they can be guns for hire and you can hire them. You can unlock 2 slots for your squad, so you can basically stack them. So you can use maybe Boomer and Nick at the same time. You know what I mean? There's
different combinations and okay, that sounds great. And I've read a lot as well, and what I've seen from what you guys have played and on the Twitch stream and stuff that we've done. It's like problem solving a little bit. Like, what's the situation here? Do I need to be stealthy? Well, I've got the huntress who can use a bow and arrow, and she's really it's versatile, like you were saying, and it's just adds a whole other element to the game, which I think is pretty exciting. So all of that stuff then, all this stuff just builds into exactly what I was talking about earlier, the anecdote factory. This is what they want. They want it to be emergent gameplay is what they call it, right? Emergent stories, storytelling. Is that the case for you in this game so far? Have you got like a standout moment? Have you got like stories that have happened that you remember?
So I was doing a side quest for this guy, and he was like a UFO conspiracy theorist. And he tells you to go and collect what he thinks is alien material from a UFO. And you go to a farm, and you just pick it up, and then a flock of turkeys just came out of nowhere and started attacking me. And it was just so
It's a bit like Warhammer Vermintide, just
it was just
turkey
so
tide.
It was 3 turkeys, and they all started like swarming me, and they almost killed me as well, which I was impressed with for a turkey.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about this deadly turkey.
They were tough as well.
Infestation that they've got in Montana in this game.
It took a lot of ammo to put them down.
Yeah.
It was like scary.
It was terrifying.
Terrifying.
They're just not going down.
In like a panic, trying to just avoid these turkeys, but they just
really hard
they
turkeys.
Wrecked me.
And that's
it was fun.
That's the same throughout the whole game. Like, all the animals take more punishment than they should, and
the old cougar or saber-toothed
they fight to the death, man. They're the ballers. The lot of them. Any single animal in the game, they're not shy of gunfire. They'll run straight in and they'll attack. They'll go for the jugular, and they won't stop until they die. But that's every single animal in the game. I mean, if you like fun, I guess it's fun.
Exactly. Well,
if you like realism, then go elsewhere.
So you should be aware of that going into this game. That like we were saying earlier, they have leaned into what makes it doesn't matter that you can put 30 bullets into a turkey and it still comes at you. It's farmers would be out of business if that was the reality of it. It just shows that they've gone for what's fun. What's the turkey is. It made you laugh. It made you think about it. You've got a memory there.
Turkeys are scary. I'm traumatized now because they do damage. If they're not don't just peck at you, they almost killed me. I was at death's door because of one turkey, and I was in the middle of something else. Fuck those turkeys, man, I tell you.
So there you go. I mean,
to cap off the turkey story, after I managed to get rid of them, a bald eagle started chasing me for 5 minutes.
Birds unite.
Yeah, it was like I'd done some horror to the bird species and whatever. But
the vengeful bald eagle was after you.
For me,
the symbol of American freedom was going to kick your ass. Right? Okay. so that's kind of what we're talking about there. And they've aimed for that, and it seems like they've succeeded, at least to a certain extent, because based on both of what you guys are saying, a lot of it is relating to the animals so far. But that's a big part of it because they are like the wildcats, right? You don't know know where they're going to spring up. It doesn't matter what mission you're doing. Doesn't matter what side activity you're doing. Doesn't matter if you're just walking down the road or whatever. You just get jumped by these things.
Yeah.
And it seems like that they've gone all out for that. So we should talk quickly as well about the arcade, which this is a portion of the game which you can access from within the game world. There's like arcade cabinets that you can walk up to, and it opens up a whole other strand of the game, which is essentially the online component, the multiplayer. It's a huge map editing system. There's thousands and thousands of assets in it, and not just from Far Cry 5, from Far Cry 4, Far Cry Primal, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, AC Unity, all these other Ubisoft titles, basically. And it's going to have even more assets when the DLC arrives later on as well. And Ubi clearly want this to last, right? They've just done a blog post, okay, which they've talked about how the game's going to evolve over time, and how this, and the blog post is about the season pass and the DLC and stuff, but it just, they want this to be a long-term game, as they do with all their games. This is how they do business now. But it's just a little bit lightweight at launch, right? Because, well, not enough people have had time to make cool stuff with it, right?
Yeah, saying that, however, there's an article and piece of game I'm looking at right now saying that they've recreated Dust 2 from
Counter-Strike.
From Counter-Strike, right?
Okay.
In Far Cry Arcade, which is great, right? So if people are starting to jump onto it, and
this is how it's going to happen. Isn't it?
and start making these maps that people are familiar with, and people that enjoy from the past, and they can just jump in and play it and just make their own maps like that.
I genuinely think this is a real masterstroke from Ubisoft, because when they announced this, I was excited about it. We did a news video about it on the channel, and I was just thinking of the potential, and already it's kind of being proved. You can see that this is how they plan on keeping people playing the game. With Assassin's Creed, it's the historical tourism stuff, it's the educational stuff, it's the big expansion-y type stuff. This is like, they just want people to keep playing it and it's like Twitch stream bait as well, because if someone comes up with a new map or scenario or something, you don't know what's going to happen because you've never seen it before. And in the reviews, even Eurogamer like remade the Queen Vic from EastEnders and stuff in it, and they did a good job. They did a good job of it. So you can tell already it could really take off, and I think that the signs are there. But yeah, just kind of be warned up, I guess, a little bit, that if you're expecting to go in there and be immediately hit with loads of different creative ideas and a recreation of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings and stuff, that's not there, but it might be eventually.
It could eventually get there.
The potential is there, and if it isn't there, make it yourself. That's the whole point. The map editor's in there, and the tools are there for you to do it. So before we kind of close out, then there are a couple of problems, right? So the AI, Gaz, has been something that's bugged you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole Mafia 3 over again. It does remind me of the game itself. Reminds me of Mafia 3 in a lot of ways. But just driving, just mind your own business. I've got a mullet, so I fit in, right? Blend into the scenery. I'm a Montanan resident, right? They shouldn't recognise me, but I'm just driving on my own, and they just start shooting at me from out of nowhere. Like, you can't go anywhere without getting into trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you can't blend in, and that's a problem for me, because if you've got a vehicle mission or something, and you want to get somewhere really quickly, or you just want to get stuff done, you just want to go, you want to go somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll just start on you for no reason.
Yeah. Maybe it is the mullet. Maybe they're upset.
Yeah, maybe they just don't like the mullet. But how would they recognise me? I mean, for me, I guess if you're aiming for the maximum adventure, maximum fun, maximum arcadey type gameplay, people shoot on sight. That's fine. But for me, if I want to get stuff done, I'm a practical guy, right? And I want to get my car delivered.
You got some business to continue.
I've got some veg in the trailer, right? And I've got this is one of the side missions. I've got to deliver to the chef so we can make food for the guys to celebrate the fact that I've liberated the little outpost or whatever. Yeah. But I can't get there because I'm being shot at every corner. It's like, I know, just a quality of life thing for me. I think the AI could be a little bit less.
It's a bit skittish as well, isn't it? That you said it's just things will just really rattle them, and
I had at one point I had one of the cultists, and he was flying like a bombing plane.
Okay.
And he chased me across like a good quarter of the map. I just couldn't lose him. I was like, is this a bug, or is it just really that persistent?
Really aggressive. What have I done to annoy this guy? Yeah.
It can get a bit annoying when I was just trying to talk to an NPC as well to start a quest. But it wouldn't let me because it kept saying I was in conflict. Yeah. And it's just because this plane kept circling me and wouldn't leave me alone.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the AI, and there's also the issue of kind of graphical bugs and stuff, Liam. Yeah. You were telling me about the magically appearing explosive truck earlier.
Yeah, I'm playing on the Xbox One X, and it looks very nice, but there's a lot of just like presentation issues at the minute. Like I was telling Mike about a truck that just appeared out of thin air and then landed on the ground, exploded, scared the AI. They thought they were getting attacked. And it's just like, and then there's just like some issues like texture popping and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just general like sort of little bugs that get in the way.
So you should be aware of that as well. It's not a. I mean, it's not. I think performance-wise, it looks to be pretty sharp, right? It looks nice and it's running okay, but yeah, there are those like little annoying bits like the AI and the bugs which aren't quite perfect. But that's it. Far Cry 5. It's a big game, man. It's a big open world game. It's got the arcade mode and stuff. There's a lot going on there in pure quantity terms. Before you get into the quality of it. It's out right now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One for the full AAA price. There is a season pass that is pretty wild. It's going to take the action to Vietnam, to Mars, and zombies, and again, those assets are going to be available for customization and map creation on the arcade as well. But there's no, as far as I can tell, there's actually no release date for that stuff yet. But it's going to be near future kind of stuff. So yeah, are you playing the game? Are you playing Far Cry 5? What do you think of it? Let us know down in the comments. That'd be great. We'd love to hear what you've got to say about it. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time.